Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. If you have done so, my name is Charles, and I already know this is going to be a problem, so I'm going to figure out how to work on the gate real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, so there's going to be a little bit of background noise. I'm trying to figure that out. I should have done this a little bit better. That means it's going to require me to talk loud all the time. Not going to do that. Give me 1 second. Okay. So where was I? I was supposed to stream this morning, but I my body told me I needed some rest, so I listened. That's really annoying because I can hear it. Let's see if we can adjust this. Yeah, that's pretty bad. There's always a problem. So, anyways, um, I missed streaming this morning, so I just made an effort to do it this evening, just for the sake of being consistent. So, anyways, what I'm gonna do is talk about and do a little bit of arranging this evening. You guys hear that? I hear it. Let me see something. Okay, and I'm squashing the heck out of the signal, but it's gonna have to work until I figure this out. Maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't be streaming, but anyways. So I decided to do an arrangement for an old song, and I gotta thank Alexa for this because she played the song, and I was like, let me go and see if I can find the acapella vocals for this, and I did, and so I decided to kind of noodle with it just for like to study it, figure out how I can um, do some arrangements on it. I did, and it came out pretty cool. And I posted a couple things on Instagram, and I decided I liked it so much I might as well finish it all the way through. But this evening, I actually have the basically the second half of the first verse and the first chorus. And what I did was I kind of took this technique not from a musician but from a an artist named Bob Ross back in the day, right? He's known for creating these amazing images or these pictures on the fly, but he actually created a palette, and then from the colors that he decided to use, that's how he was able to create the picture. So with that being said, my approach is to get as many ideas that I have that could actually be used for or within the song, and then listen to them and as a whole, and then start to break them out. So what you're going to hear is with me, putting a lot of ideas all together, and once I start to figure out what needs to be taken out or added, I'll do that. But let's just take a quick listen to it real quick.
Lately, there seems to be some insecurities about the way I feel, where I wanna be. Boy, I know it's with you. No one can do the things you do to me. Never to be mistaken. Don't let this love we're making. There'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way we'll be. And I won't leave your side. 'Cause you know love will be right here. Keep on
So pretty cool, right? It goes from your typical R&B vibe into this. I think a friend of mine said machata. I know it's Afro-Cuban, but some type of like Latin flavor, and it was cool. So what I did is after one idea after another, I just kept layering, 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 layering. Now, obviously, it kind of takes away from the main vocals, but at least I have some things to kind of extract from and build off of. So if I was to take out the vocals, right, we'll just go through the end of the second half of the verse into the chorus and just listen to that. And these are all the instrumentations, and I'll break each one down, and then we'll start copying and pasting and trying to get this out. So again, a lot of things happening. So I'm immediately what I'm thinking is this: a song has to tell a story, and you don't want to give them everything all at once. It's kind of like a roller coaster, right? So you want to be kind of minimalistic in your approach, and so if you put everything like I'm doing right now, like as an idea or part, then where else can you go? You can obviously modulate. You can obviously like change instrumentation, but I think cohesive is a great approach. So I think I have enough instrumentation. Now it's a matter of what goes well within, at the first verse, transitioning into the chorus, and even in the chorus, there's a lot going on, right? So it's just taking this information and slowly building it, like starting very minimalistic and going, you know, adding as you go along. So, and I tried that at the beginning where it was just the vocals. Coco, I love her. I love her voice. And so what worked was just the bass, just the bass in her voice. And then I slowly crept in the kick drum. And then towards the end, right before the second half of the verse, I added, claps. So now we're starting to gain momentum and introduce other parts, right? And then it just goes full on right here. Um, so for again as an example, just listen to how minimum this is. It's really just the bass, but it works. And of course the kick. And then towards the end of this, we add the claps. So now we have something that's building. Okay, now we get to the, the second half of the verse. So let me break this down. So I recorded some horn parts, and I've learned my lesson from the last time of streaming. I I need to practice before I get on stream before in and try to record this live. It was just a nightmare with the other one, so I decided to do all my recording today and last night. Okay, so for example, I heard horn parts and I thought it was cool. I did, I recorded the flugelhorns and then I did the sax section or brass section that I played on the keyboard. So if I take all of these out and just focus on the horns, you'll hear. And I'll break this down in like from measure 9 to 17, and I'll take the bass out so you can hear. And there's a lot of area effects like reverb and delay, but it works. But it doesn't work so soon in the idea, especially if I have her doing this.
Never to be mistaken. Long as this love we're making, there'll be no hesitating.
So what I'm immediately thinking that these should be on the second half um of the verse, right? So I would probably introduce like this lick, like right here. So I would make a quick cut. Mute these, and then it will come in on the second half of the verse before it goes into the chorus. Another thing that I also wrote were Rhodes, and they're just my favorite, one of my favorite keyboard sounds. So I added those in here. So what I'm hearing immediately is something very subtle, subdued, with just the vocals and the Rhodes, right? Of course with the bass, but let's just see how um, the Rhodes interact with the vocals.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating, you and me, that's the way you will.
Right? So they work. That goes through the whole piece, right? Through the, that's pretty much going to be the main um, accompaniment through it all. And I guess the horns and the guitars, which I didn't lay anything for the verse, would be complementary just to add like some oomph to it. Um, but the piano is pretty interesting, and it kind of gives a West Coast vibe. You know, this is all reminiscent of the '90s. Um, so if I took out the Rhodes and I'm gonna mute her vocals and just listen to the piano, you'll understand what I mean by West Coast because it's a constant percussive sounding or um, a sound. Well, it's just percussive and playing, which works with this. But maybe not right off the rip. What if I mute the first half of the verse, right? We'll do. Oh, I forgot to do that. That was actually muted entirely. Um, so basically, what we're left with is just the Rhodes, just the Rhodes and the vocals. Now with this right here, this is a synth. This is one of my favorite sounds in Omnisphere. It's called Roger Comes Alive. It emulates Roger Troutman's vocoder, not vocoder. He had a talk box, but that sound is just beautiful to me, and I'll try to use it any way I possibly can. So this is just it's just very subtle. I'm not going heavy with it, but it kind of accents her vocals. I'll include this in the first pass. But again, it's all about building. I'm just introducing you to track by track. So very subtle, but it's very effective. And then, and I even added percussion, but percussion. I really liked like normal hand percussion during the Latin segment, which is the chorus. But to kind of create some cohesiveness, I use some percussion in the verse so it doesn't seem like it just comes out from nowhere. Now, I could have just gradually did a fade in, but I just wanted to introduce the percussion anyways. So this is what it sounds like with the percussion. All right. So at this point, or even the percussion could be used later on into the second verse. But if I was just to play her vocals from the first half, um, using just the Rose, the piano, it sounds good because the pianos are introduced on the second half of the verse, and then the horns as well is doing that.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no.
Oh, and you will also notice like up here, there's actually two acapella tracks going. One is basically her main. It's the I'd say the normal track, and then the second one is the affected track where I added like delay, and you can see to the left delay, a little bit of a filter, and this plugin called a stutter, which chops up the vocals. Anyways, I can play it without the main vocals, just the effects. It sounds weird without the mains, but in context, it makes total sense. So this is what it without the mains.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. And I won't be.
Completely weirdness, right? But when you add the main vocals to it, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, it kind of complements the main. So here it is with the main.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way you will be, and I won't be your side. 'Cause you know love will be right.
Bass, because that's the most important thing. Let's add the bass.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way you will be, and I won't be your side. 'Cause you know love will be right.
And then check this out. Listen to how the percussion just gives it this vibe, and it's almost a precursor to what's gonna happen into the chorus. It's pretty cool, and because I think it should be, and it's right before the chorus. Let's do this. Let's chop it, or not chop it, but let's split it. Don't introduce the percussion until the second half, just like with most, and see how that works. This is with the percussion.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way you will be, and I won't be your side. 'Cause you know love will be right.
Cool. And then lastly, the drums.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way you will be, and I won't be your side. 'Cause you know love will be right.
Cool. So this works, and then when it's time to, let's just say, go into the second verse, first listen to the, I'm not really going to have enough time to do the, well maybe, the chorus. So check this out.
Don't you have to know? Don't be unloving. Don't shed no tears.
Again, a lot going on. So with that, I would probably just stick with the, of course, the Rhodes, the pianos perhaps, as well as the bass and drums. A lot of the other things, like say, let's do this, like these synths, which are really cool. It's all about building, right? So it's very subtle, but it makes sense in context of the track. then you have like this polyrhythm happening between the synth and the keys that I'm arpeggiating the chords. Definitely a Latin vibe, right? Um, and then the piano or the Rhodes. Cool. So let's just hear what that sounds like with the vocals.
Here, be right here, right here, be right here. Don't you have no fear, no fear, have no fear. Don't shed no tears, no tears.
Yeah, so notice I took out the synth like almost immediately after I heard what was happening um, with the vocals versus that. There was a little bit of just a little bit of struggle there. So I will definitely use that in the second verse, right, to build more, but not during the beginning. And it's the same thing with this guitar. Did some rhythm, and like another cool thing is this rhythm synth and the rhythm guitar. I have them panned. Panning meaning like different directions of the ear. So one's panned to the left, guitar's panned to the left, and the synth is panned to the right. So I'll probably make the same decision with the guitar. Not I won't introduce it until the second chorus. So this is what the guitar sounds like. And you can see what I did right here, that little curve. That's a fade, meaning that the sound is gradually coming in. But I think it would probably be best in the second half.
Here, be right here, right here, be right here. Don't you have no fear, no fear, have no fear. Don't shed no tears, no tears.
And another thing is, this is not really mixed, so I would kick this off to an engineer, Mike, um, and then have him fix the frequency problems because some instruments are right now are fighting for space, and it's clearly doing that with the vocals. If I took away the vocals, you can hear it, the guitar part, pretty easy, and it's gradually coming in. I'm just gonna keep this looping, and then I'm just add the percussion, which is my favorite part, besides the bass, of course. And then right here, once again, just like the verse, I have horns, but I have them starting at the beginning of the chorus, also at the second half of the chorus. So once again, I would mute the first half and then have them at the second half of the chorus. But in the second chorus, I would have everything full blown, or the third chorus, depending how many choruses are in the song. And I think there's three. Right? It's just subtle things. Um, so, and I forgot to cut this. And so with the drums, of course, the kit. And this is what kind of brings it all together. that sax part should not have been there, so we're gonna mute that too. Context with vocals. And then let's just take it from the second half of the verse going into the chorus.
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making, there'll be no hesitating. You and me, that's the way we'll be, and I won't leave the side. 'Cause you know love will be right here, be right here, right here, be right here. Don't you have no fear, no fear, I'm not fear. Don't shed no tears, no tears.
Okay, so I'm looking at the time. Yep, I went past. Oh no, no, I didn't. Hold on. If I was to like, so for example, it goes right into the first, excuse me, the second verse right here. And what I did was just use the or copy and paste the bass and drums. That's the glue, the meat and potatoes, just to get an idea of the energy. Again, I love this song, so this is a great study. A great study for me.
You let some don't believe in, that's just what I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do me like you do. It's true.
Right? And so immediately, the very first thing that has to go into the next verse is the roads, right? I'm gonna just do a quick arrangement on the second verse and then call it an evening. So now we have this.
You let some don't believe in, that's just what I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do.
And see, immediately I already know what I wanted because I chopped a spot out for the bass and the drums, so there's like some break. So right here,
I'll be holding on to you.
right there, this chord should be non-existent. Take that out, and then it should work.
I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do me like you do.
And then another thing that I would actually introduce in the first half is actually the horns, right? This is not difficult.
You let some don't believe.
Unless there might be 16 bars.
You let some don't believe in, that's just what I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do.
And of course, copy this on the second half.
You let some don't believe in, that's just what I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do me.
And that works. So it's not difficult. So we have now with this the synth. So it's almost identical to the first chorus, but there's a little bit more added into the second one.
You let some don't believe it. That's just what I'm giving. I'm gonna keep it strong. I'll be holding on to you. No one can do me like you do. It's true.
And then that's the second half of the verse, and it keeps going. You just keep building it. But I am out of time. So hopefully this kind of gives you a glimpse into my production and arranging process and thought process. I do have a website. It is thefostermusiccollective.com. Also, Facebook page, of course, is TFM Collective. So I hope you guys again had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend or holiday observation. If you haven't already, please tell someone that you love them this evening. Again, thanks for tuning in. I shall see you guys later.